Welcome to the Geopointe Basics training. In this video, you're going to learn the essentials of using Geopointe, whether you're an end user or a Geopointe admin. Today, you'll learn how to navigate the map and the control panel interface, create data sets, which are collections of Salesforce records that you can search on the Geopointe map. We'll perform some searches on the map, and we'll explore routes, calendar, and lists, which are some of the essential solutions that'll help you achieve your business flows inside Geopointe. Finally, we'll jump into using Geopointe in the Salesforce mobile app, where many users will use the Geopointe app day to day. So to get started, to get to Geopointe, navigate to the Geopointe Map tab. You can get there from the app launcher, from the All Items list. You can see here on the left is the control panel. This is where a lot of the power of Geopointe happens, where you can create data sets and other map layers, perform searches, and analyze your data in Geopointe. On the right, you'll see some map tools, and we'll dive into an overview of those first before we really get into the power of Geopointe here in the control panel. So first of all, here is the search bar. You can pretty much search anything in here. You can search street addresses and navigate there, add it to routes, and work with that location. You can search for actual Salesforce records and even take quick actions on them from this drop-down list here. And you can search for keywords, so perhaps coffee shops. Maybe you're looking for a meeting location that you want to add to a route to follow up with the client. So you could search here and it will look for coffee shops in Google and list them here in the site in the control panel. And again, you can take actions on these locations. Over here we have the screenshot icon. You can take a screenshot if you want to make a presentation-friendly version of the map. Weather layers, which provide real-time weather updates. Traffic layers. The settings, which is really important for customizing your experience in Geopointe. This is specific to you as a user, but keep in mind that a Geopointe admin can override these settings from Geopointe setup. So some helpful ones to know about: you can actually pan the map to a starting map position and set it here, and that means it'll load in that location every time you load Geopointe. So it's a handy trick there. Now this use geolocation option actually overrides that setting. There are some other settings here related to how data sets appear on the map, units, and so forth. The next tab here is routing defaults. So this is important if you're using routes. Some aspects of calendar as well. You can set your starting location, your availability, and so forth here. That'll make more sense when we look at routes and calendar shortly here. Next, I'll show you this drop down of map styles. You can upload custom map styles, such as this cool retro run I have here. This is the full screen mode. Current location icon. Now keep in mind, the first time you load Geopointe, you'll be prompted to allow your location in the browser settings. Make sure you do that if you want to be able to do things like perform nearby searches from your current location. Moving on, below we have some map tools here. These are mostly related to drawing shapes on the map. You can use shapes for all types of purposes, for data analysis, shape searching, and even deploying assignment plans, which is like a territory management feature inside Geopointe. You can actually jump to our multi-shape editor from there as well, where you can take advantage of our full library of geoshapes, including everything like zip codes, even congressional districts, and other geographic boundaries. And you can use those to create shapes that can be used for assignment plans, for analysis, assigning territories to sales reps, and it works great with our another product in our suite, Territory Planner, which allows you to utilize the same library of geoshapes for more deeper analysis. So before diving into that whole world of the shape editor, there's a lot there, so we won't go fully into that, but we have other videos specifically on how to use that shape editor and how to deploy assignment plans and other solutions with shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and clear my place results as well. And over here in the control panel, when I want to work with layers that are on the map and remove them, I can go to this layers tab, navigate to the map tab, and remove them that way with the X. Moving on, we do have the street view, which is pretty handy when you want to get a preview of places you're going to visit, and the ability to zoom in and out. Now keep in mind you can use your scroll wheel to zoom as well, and that's actually a setting that you can enable here in your preferences. So let's dive into the control panel over here, because this is where a lot of really powerful things happen. When you first are new to Geopointe, you may not have all that many layers here, or maybe your Geopointe admin has shared some with you. Shared org-wide data sets will appear like these without folders. Now, you can create your own data sets as an end user, and they'll be saved in your My Personal Saved layers. If you're an admin, you'll have the ability to create multiple folders that you can share and control access to your users. And you can do that by hovering over a folder and see what the sharing details are and update those sharing details. Other tabs here include the Recent tab, which is all the recent layers you may have worked with, and as I mentioned, the Map tab, where you can really dive deep into the layers that you have loaded on the map at that time. Let's go ahead and do a quick dataset search. So I have this account outreach folder. I have some data sets that I created earlier, and I want to do a nearby search, but I want to search from a certain location. So let's say I'm just going to pick a location here, and I'm going to set the center for my search. And I'm going to go ahead and do a range of 50 miles. And I'm going to click this accounts call centers data set. So this is doing a nearby search. It's important to choose the correct search type here at the top. You can also do shape, map view, and everywhere. We're going to search within a range of the center of the map. And this is my results. Now I'm going to navigate to the Map tab and see what these marker colors mean, because it seems like they've been configured for something. And I can see that from this Legend tab. I can also get the Legend tab from this. And it is colored by the industry. So it's basically just telling us a visual story of what each of these accounts' industry is. And what's pretty handy is with this Legend, I can actually kind of do some real-time filtering here by using the X to remove certain markers from the map. So, and I can click on a dataset result here. Click on an account and see information about that record. I can navigate to that record page by clicking the name of the account. Any fields that were added to that dataset, the account call centers, will be visible here. And any actions that have been configured to be visible for the account will also be here. So you can see my admin has configured quite a few handy actions that I can take. I could add these to a route. I could check in if I may be in the field and want to log my visit. I can add related records like tasks or events for follow-up. You can see my primary action is add to calendar, and that can all be configured in Geopointe setup. Below the map, I can see a list view of all the results from that dataset search as well. And I can actually take list actions on them as well. I can also work with the data in other ways from the Map tab, like using a heat map to visualize things, switching between clusters and markers if I want to see a summary of the number of markers at a location, like that. Turning on labels, refreshing it, hiding it. So let's go ahead and take a look at what it's like to build a route, which is a very popular feature that allows field teams to navigate in most efficient, optimized routes to their customers and clients. So I can just click on a record and use the add to route action. As soon as I start using that add to route action, it creates a route here, and I can continue to add to it. I can set my start and end location. I have those set in my routing defaults in the user settings that we looked at earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and add my start and end from my default locations. I could override these if I wanted to. Now I want to optimize this because I don't think this is the most optimal order of stops. So I'm going to toggle optimize on, and you can see it has reordered things. When I'm ready, I'm going to click save, give it a name, and I'm going to share it with some team members. Now my routes are available in this routes list. From the routes tab, I can view upcoming, view by month if there was a date set for the route. Now some organizations may prefer to use a calendar interface for managing routes and travel plans to locations. And this can come in handy if you have a larger team that you want to manage scheduling and work with Salesforce events. Another benefit of calendar is it allows you to view multiple users on the calendar at once, which is something we call resource view. The benefit is also that you can visualize from a calendar interface. It allows you to drag and drop events, and these events will take into consideration location and time, and give you warnings if it can't meet the schedule requirements. Another thing I want to show you real quick is lists. Now, this is a handy way to manage follow-up tasks and other action items that you need to take. You can create a list for perhaps account follow-up. And the handy thing about this is as you complete tasks, it will check them off. So for example, we have Tuesday tasks. I can take actions on this item, and once I'm done with my task, I can check it off so it's complete. So let's go ahead and create a data set. Click create, and this is actually going to be the pathway for any type of map layer you create. You can see we also have the ability to create KML, WMS, and other types of data layers. But for now, we're going to create a data set, which is collections of Salesforce records specifically. We're going to look at accounts by industry, and basically we're going to color the account records by the industry field. So I'm going to choose account for my map object, and the map object is the configuration of an object for geocoding, and that's set up in Geopointe setup. So if you're not sure what map object to use, go ahead and check in with your admin on that. You can choose a folder. It may just be your My Personal Saved Layers folder. In this case, I'm going to put this in my account outreach folder. If you put no folder here as an admin, then it would be shared with everybody. Go ahead and click save, and we're going to start by adding some filters to this data set to control which data is included. I'm just going to go ahead and filter it by the contract value. And I just want to only see accounts with a contract value greater than 10,000. I could also add a cross-object filter, maybe only show accounts that have open opportunities, for example. But I'm going to move on to the Fields tab here, and I'm going to add a few fields to have some handy information visible when I'm viewing the records in the map, including that industry field and that contract value. Next, I'm going to jump to the Markers tab, and we're going to set the marker type as single field. By default, it's static and one color, but by choosing single field, we get to choose a field that we want the system to color by. So in this case, the industry field, it's set up some marker rules some automatic ones. I could change these if I want and even use icons to represent different values of industry. And I think we're good here. So I'm going to click save, and we're going to run a search of that accounts by industry data set. In this case, I'm not going to do a nearby search. This time I'll do a map view search and just kind of zoom out the map. So we'll just search the Southwest region, and then we'll go ahead and click accounts by industry. And you can see I got some results on the map here. I'm going to scroll down and see the list view of results here. And I can switch, of course, to the map tab and perform some analysis. I can see these fields that I added to that data set are visible. I can work with those metrics, maybe switch my revenue to average, so I can just kind of get a different picture of that data. Now I can work with these record results, taking actions on them, maybe creating a new list for follow-up. If I'm in the field and want to log my action, check in action is a great action that you can configure. Allows them to track their activity at locations. Now let's dive into using Geopointe on the Salesforce mobile app. Now this might be the way you commonly use Geopointe, especially if you're launching a route to navigate to. To access datasets and other layers in the mobile app, you tap this folder icon, and this is actually where you'll perform searches from as well, and by default they're always going to be a nearby search from your current location. So for example, we're going to search here 30 miles, and we'll do a quick dataset search just like in the desktop version. Just tap on that dataset to do a search. And if you do want to refresh your search, if you pan the map, you'll see this option to search this area, so you can do sort of a map view search that way. Now once you have layers on the map, you can access them from this layers icon here. See a list view of the records in that search, and actually take a few list actions such as add all to route. And you can take individual actions by tapping that more options on a record. Now if there's a route you want to navigate to and launch, or want to create a new route or edit existing routes, that's all from this routes icon right here. So for example, if I tap the folder icon, I can access my saved routes, tap on a route, and when I'm ready to navigate to that route, I can launch it by tapping the navigate action for one of the stops. And you can build a route just like in desktop by using the add to route action. Just tap on a record on the map, use the add to route action. It may be available from more options. You can take other actions as well. We do support creating calendar lists. You can access calendar and lists from their respective tabs or icons here. Calendar icon, again, allows you to access anything you have saved there. And you can follow up on your list items as well. One thing I want to point out is that when you're using the mobile app, you can use the lasso feature to select records and then take actions on them that way. And finally, I should point out that we have the ability to manage some of your settings from the mobile app if you tap the settings icon in the top left. This is important if you want to set a default navigation app and enable some other features that are specific to mobile. Now keep in mind the current location icon is in the search bar for mobile. And we also have a search bar that you can use to search for anything, just like in desktop. You can search for places, for Salesforce records, and for street addresses from there. And that's it for our overview of the Salesforce mobile app. I hope you enjoyed this jump into using Geopointe. You can check out our other videos to learn more specifics about how to achieve your workflows.